I'm back. It's time for another edition of your favourite plugin show. This time, we're going to be looking at something suggested in loads of comments, actually. We did a review recently of it was the CG2, the thing that added loads of sort of extra volume, got your LUFS up to -5 and all the rest of it. It's kind of impressive plugin. But a bunch of people in the comments said, have you checked out the Musikhack master plan? And we'd noticed it because we looked at Fuel from Musikhack a while back, but hadn't got around to looking at it. But now we have. So this is a review of the Musikhack master plan. Let's find out. Is it? Right, so the master plan, what is it? Well, it's a mastering processor kind of plugin. It's interesting in that it adds a bunch of stuff which you're likely to use. It would obviously generally come in a bunch of different plugins, and they've kind of pushed it all into one, which, that's no bad thing as long as it works. So let's take a look at the interface. Might need bins for this one. So we've got a massive loud control right in the middle. Obviously, that's what gives you your extra volume, extra loudness. Top left, we've got the in. Top right, we've got the out. You've got a bypass. You've got a true peak. Useful. Stop those into sample peaks getting through. And you've got a unity gain. Again, useful to hear what you're doing sound-wise, regardless of the level you're adding. Useful. I like that. We've then got an EQ control on the left here. So we've got low, we've got a high, ±8. And we then got a mid-range, and you can choose between high mid, mid or low mid. I quite like that. It's quite nice to have a little bit of control. You don't want to go mad. We've then got these buttons along the bottom here, and some of them have extra control. So thick, what's thick? Thick is just saturation. So you've then got a control for how much of that saturation you want. Clean, if you look at the manual, it says it demuds the lows. So it's basically doing an EQ thing to remove somewhere in the sort of low mid, low area, cleans it up, does a little bit of a dip, quite like that you can adjust the amount. We've then got the multi-band compressor part of it, where you click multi, this little window opens up in the middle, and you can choose, how much of the low, mid, or the high, those three bands are getting affected by the compression, basically, within that. You've then got the smooth button. That is basically, it's like an SSL compressor. It's like a glue compressor, and you punch it in, and it adds a little bit of that glue to the signal. Again, I quite like that. In mastering, quite often I have to use my IGS compressor on the way in because something could do with a bit of glue before it goes through all the mastering processes. So I like that. You then have Calm. Calm is basically, it's like a combination of a de-esser or a high frequency compressor, similar things, obviously, which basically let you calm down high frequency issues. If you've got a hi-hat that's a bit over the top, or it could be a vocal or something within the mix that's going a bit nuts, you can find it and bring it down that. It's got a ×2, obviously useful, doubles up its usefulness. You've then got tape control, obviously adds a little bit of tape saturation kind of sound. Again, you can adjust how much. All useful stuff. The metering down the bottom in that sort of LED, LCD sort of display kind of look. I really like it. The metering I found really useful. Accurate, very useful, easy to see, very cool indeed. You then got a wide setting. It's just going to add stereo width, and again, as long as you keep it within the realms of normality, it doesn't mess with your phase. So again, useful, very good for mastering. You've then got these buttons on the right here which let you monitor in a variety of different ways. So when it's off, it's just regular, it's not doing anything. You can dim it, just brings the volume down. You can put it into mono, always good to check your mono compatibility. You've got like a band pass kind of thing, which is just like narrows the bandwidth. You've then got a phone, makes it sound like it's coming out of a phone, can be useful sometimes. And then it's got N10, which is obviously meant to sound like NS10s like mine here. Again, useful. I do check on my NS10s all the time, just because I know them inside out. It's a useful check to do. So there you go. That is the master plan from Musikhack. It's a pretty fully featured thing, and you'll see from the demo at the end. I mean, what you can't see is my reaction when I first started using it, but I can tell you now my reaction was, oh shit. It was like, wow, this thing's amazing. I'm not going to mess around. It's really, really good. I was pretty blown away. let's talk about the demo. 10 days long, pretty fair. When you want to buy it, you can either, I mean, the full price is $175. Right now in the sale, it's $120. I think, you know, that's a chunk of money, but it does a very, very good job. I think it's worth that. They do at Musikhack a rent to own thing where you can pay $10 a month, and after 12 months you own it. So that's pretty good. So you get it for the same $120 you would have to pay anyway up front, but you can give them $10 a month. So why wouldn't you do that? I'm not a big fan of subscriptions, but I quite like the rent to own thing. That works. So yeah, that's very cool. Watch the demo at the end. You'll see how interesting this thing is. It might be that you've got lots of different tools. You've already got really good limiters and really good compressors, and you might have some really good EQs, and you might have a really good bunch of tools that do everything that this does, and that might mean that this isn't something you're interested in. But if you want one plugin that is kind of like a does it all, almost, I'd still want some other tools, but this is really good. It's really good. So let's get to the rating. It's got to be a 4. It looks great. You can also put it into a black mode, so it can be black, so people prefer that. It sounds great. Usefulness will entirely depend on what you own already, but it does things pretty well. I would say the only bit that isn't maybe as good as the rest of it, the EQ is very simple, but you know, it's more than you can ask for really on something like this. Value-wise, I think it's all right for what it does, especially at the tenner a month. That works. Extras, yeah, there's quite a few extras in there. It's quite well spec'd. Yeah, I think it's very, very close to a 5, but it's going to be a 4, and it's not shit. Anyway, there you go. That was the Musikhack master plan. So yeah, demo at the end, listen to that. I think you'll be blown away. It's an interesting bit of kit. So let's tell you to like this video and maybe subscribe to the channel or become a channel member. Remember that channel members get the highest level, get one free master from my mastering business every month. That's worth quite a bit of money, so why not think about that? There's the Instagram, Studio Life 101. There's the website. We've got the top 5 there. There's links to go and get them. There's courses, including my new mixing course, Mixing 2, in the box. Really proud of that one. Bunch of other stuff. It's all down there. I will see you next time. Adios.